Hi everyone, I'm Jess and today I'm going to be sharing with you a few tips on how to wrap your Christmas presents to not only make them look super cute but also to make them as sustainable as possible. Whilst Christmas is definitely a very magical time of year, it is unfortunately a very wasteful time of year, and as consumers we get through a lot of products which we don't necessarily need, and there are actually quite a few simple ways that you can cut back your usage. So in this video, along with showing you a few ways of how to make your presents look beautifully wrapped, I'm also going to give you a few tips on some small changes you can make to make your gifts more sustainable. So the easiest and biggest change you can make is your wrapping paper. Whilst wrapping paper like this, which looks very pretty, can be very appealing, unfortunately it isn't recyclable, so it is all just going to go straight into landfill after Christmas. So a more sustainable option is something like brown wrapping paper. This is also just known as parcel paper, and not only is parcel paper a lot cheaper, it is also fully recyclable. So if you don't want to reuse it after Christmas, you can just chuck it in your recycling bin, and obviously that gets recycled as opposed to going straight to landfill. Another benefit of this is it's also a lot cheaper than your printed wrapping papers. I think I get mine from Wilko's for about £1 for a big long thing of this brown paper, so it's definitely a lot cheaper as well, which is obviously a nice bonus. So now that you've swapped out your wrapping paper, you might feel that your presents are looking a little bit plain, but not to worry, we are going to sort that as well. Instead of opting for, in my opinion, somewhat tacky decorations such as the little plastic bows and whatnot, you can actually opt for natural and again recyclable options that you can use on your gifts. One of the easiest ones that I've made this year that literally take no time at all and look super nice on your presents is to use things like dried fruit. So I made these dried orange slices about a month or two ago, and they're now fully dried out, so will look great on top of my presents. And these are obviously super cheap to make. You just need an orange, you need to cut it up and chuck it in the oven, and that is it. It's so simple. And yeah, these are cheap to make. They're obviously a natural material, so even if they do end up going into the bin or perhaps your compost bin, they are obviously going to just naturally degrade because they're a natural material. And I think these look super nice, especially with that brown paper. It gives a really nice natural feel to your presents, and once again it has that added benefit of it costs you pretty much nothing. I think an orange is about 15 or 20 pence, so really not a massive expense. And I got quite a few slices out of just one orange. I'll show you. I got about 7 or 8 slices out of just one orange, so that's obviously going to cover a lot of gifts for me. So it's a really simple way to add a little bit of spice to your Christmas presents without breaking the bank. Another way as well to make your presents look a little bit jazzier is to use some ribbon or string on your gifts. If you already have ribbon, perhaps from an old gift or something like that, brilliant, because you can reuse it. If not, you can get something like twine, super cheap, for quite a large amount at a very low price. And again, this is just a better option than, I don't know, like plastic based wrapping items. And I got this one from the shop Tiger. I think it was only £1 as well. They had a lot of different colours, and again, because it is just natural twine material, it's a lot better for the planet. Another option as well, this is more when you'd have to plan in advance for, but hopefully once you know this tip you can bear it in mind this Christmas, is if you receive any of your Christmas gifts this year in a gift bag or something like that, instead of just binning it, keep hold of it, because you can reuse it for other people's gifts this year or next year, however it goes. So I still have a lot of gift bags that I received last year that obviously I can now reuse this year for gifting to other people. And obviously if you don't write on like the gift tag and stuff like that, it encourages other people to reuse it as well. So it's a great way of taking like what is intended to be single-use item and getting a lot of use out of it, so it's obviously less harmful to the planet, which is brilliant. Another tip as well, if you have little scraps of wrapping paper that you feel are too small to wrap any of your gifts, you can actually try wrapping your gift diagonally. This sounds a bit strange, and I'm not great at maths and whatnot, so I don't know how this exactly works, but it does. But basically, if you wrap your gift at a diagonal slant, it makes the paper fit the gift better. So even if it didn't originally fit your gift, it will fit. So it's a great way to use up those last little bits of paper. I don't know if I explained that very well, but I will insert a little clip of me doing it so that it makes sense. But that was something I didn't even know until this year, and it's been a great way to not only reduce the amount of paper you originally need to wrap a present, but as I say, to also use up those little scraps of paper that you don't really feel you have a use for. And if you do have any really small scraps of paper that you don't feel can be reused in any other way, you could also use those as your gift tags. Just cut out a little square or whatever shape you fancy. You can obviously write on whatever you want to write on to the person you're giving the gift to, and because it's just a bit of paper, you can just recycle it afterwards. So those are my key tips. Hopefully they've given you a few ideas on how you can wrap your presents this year and also do it in a more sustainable way. I hope that most of these are relatively simple and easy to try out, so if you do try any of them or you have any other hacks or tips that you think are really useful this Christmas, please do pop them in the comments below and I would love to chat about it. But thank you very much for watching this video, and we will see you with more student life content very soon.